Hey, what's good? It's your boy Matthew Michael, and in today's video I will be talking about everything that you're going to need to build a mining rig. Now, I've been getting several people in my DMs asking how they could go about building their own mining rig, how they can do it on their own, how much it would cost, and how long it would take to pay off. So in this video I'll go over all the parts you need, and just so you know, you can swap some out if you already have some, or if you want to change some things, you can do it. This is just the one that I've kind of been going over with most of the people who have been asking. This is kind of the setup I have. And just a heads up, in this video, if you only have one graphic card, the one graphic card we talk about in this video, this whole rig can be paid off in about 8 months. And that's just with one graphic card. If you're able to get more, it can be paid off a lot faster, and that's also not accounting for the future growth of crypto. Right now as I speak, Ethereum is around $4,300 and Bitcoin is around $49,000. So if their values go up, the rate that these will pay themselves off will likely go up as well. And one last thing before we get into the video, if you don't already have one and you're interested in getting $20 in free crypto when you deposit $100, be sure to check out the Gemini link down below in the description. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so in this video you may see me looking down at my phone. That's just because I have a list on my phone and I don't want to forget anything. Now, I'll have links to all this down below in the description, so if you want to go down there and click some and buy some for yourself, hey, feel free. Just a disclaimer, clicking on any of the links down below in the description does help me out, but do not feel like you are obligated to click on those. But without further ado, let's get into building this mining rig. The first thing that you're going to need is going to be a motherboard. Some important things to consider when picking up a motherboard. Graphic cards are connected to the motherboard through PCIe slots. Most normal motherboards have about 2 PCIe slots, but there are also going to be a lot of regular ones that have up to 5, as well as if you get some mining specific motherboards, they're going to have anywhere from like 12 to 18 PCIe slots. Me personally, this build that we're talking about right here, I have a motherboard. The motherboard that I got, it has 5 PCIe slots, and the motherboard is actually going for about $175. $175 is not bad for a motherboard. These motherboards have definitely done me well. These are the motherboards I use myself for mining. I've seen motherboards as cheap as $70 all the way up to being as expensive as $800. Seeing as most of the cheaper motherboards only had 2 PCIe slots, and this one I paid $170 for had 5. I was more than happy with this one. It's doing its job, so hey, that's the first one on the list. The next thing on the list is going to be the processor. Now, when you get the processor, you're going to want it to be compatible with your motherboard. So these are going to be the 2 things that you want to pay the most attention to. If you just go with my recommendations, I assure you these 2 are compatible because these are the solutions I have. But if you want to do something else, just make sure beforehand that you know that these are compatible. So the processor I have on my list is actually going to be the 10th gen Intel i3. It is going for about $90, and not too much to say, just going to be a little processor chip about this big. You're going to place on your motherboard, and that's that. The next part that you're going to want to make sure that you have in order to build a mining rig is going to be an SSD. You can get these fairly cheap. Right here I actually have a 120 gigabyte and it's going for $27. It's going to be a Kingston SSD. With mine, I actually ended up running to Best Buy and getting the cheapest SanDisk SSD just because I had problems with the first one I got. So I'll actually switch out the Kingston for a SanDisk SSD just because that's what was actually working. I'm not sure if there was something specifically wrong with the Kingston or if, you know, I just got a faulty SSD. But anyways, I had problems with it, so I'll be sure to leave the link to both just so you can do what you want to do to get the better price. I did get a better price on the Kingston, but just because I was already building it and I was in a rush, I ran to Best Buy and I got the best price SanDisk. Alright, the next thing on our list is actually going to be a mining rig frame. And the mining rig frame, I actually have 2 mining rig frames. When I bought my first mining rig frame, I paid about the same price for both of them. It's just the second one that I got, it has more room. It's a little bit bigger. Actually has spots for a little bit more graphic cards. There's a spot for a second power supply, so I like the versatility that the second one gives me, so that's going to be the one that I leave down below in the description. And I paid about $60 for this, and again I paid $60 for the other one. I think that was when people were really jacking the prices up for things like this. But yeah, I got the mining rig frame for $60. Basically, this is just going to keep everything nice and neat for you and organized while you're mining. So that's something you're probably going to want. You can build one yourself, but I would say $60 for the amount of time that it would actually take you to build one is not a bad deal. The next thing that you're going to want is a power supply. So with your power supply, this is going to be what is powering all your graphic card, your motherboard, everything. This is going to be supplying the power for everything. So there are power supplies with more, but if you're using cards like 3070s, 3060 Ti's and things like that, this 1000 watt power supply that I have linked down below in the description is going to do the job. I paid $170 for it. That is the price that it is going for right now as well, and it's a gold rated power supply. So this power supply is going to last you a good amount of time. It's going to be years before you need a new one. Highly recommend getting something gold rated and not bronze, just so that you're not having to continuously replace the power supply. The next thing on the list seems pretty simple, but it is vital that you get these. They're going to be power splitters. These power splitters are $40 for a bag. It's $40 for a 6-pack on Amazon, which I know seems expensive, but honestly I haven't been able to find them for another price. And the important thing about these is that if you try to power your graphic cards the wrong way, this actually happened with me. I tried to power with, I believe, what is called the Molex cable. As soon as I plugged it up, the cable started smoking and the whole thing almost caught on fire. So whenever you get your risers, they may come with Molex cables. My advice to you is just throw those in the trash when you get them. These cables right here are going to be what you want to use, and just ignore those Molex cables. The next thing that we have on our list is going to be the GPU risers, and the GPU risers are going to be how you actually connect the graphic card to the motherboard, just because you can't slide all the graphic cards right there in each slot, just because they're so big and they would have no space to really cool down. So the GPU risers just allow you to connect them to the motherboard without having to put them directly in. Right here we got a 6-pack and it is $42, and again, this is another important part. You won't be able to actually make the mining rig happen with multiple graphic cards if you don't have something like this. You can do it with one, and that's kind of what we're basing this video off of, but this just allows you to expand in the future and also make it where your mining rig is more profitable. And then last but certainly not least, actually maybe least, just because of the fact that you may or may not need this, just depending on how you choose to do it. This is a SATA to USB, and what this is used for is really just downloading Windows onto your SSD. If you want to use USB, you can do that, or you can put it directly on, and this just makes it a little bit easier. One more thing that I will show y'all is the graphic card that this is all based off of. This is based off the 3060 Ti, just the regular Founders Edition, and for retail it goes for $399. If you're able to get this rig for retail, it'll pay off in a little under 8 months, because at the moment that graphic card mines about $4.30 a day, and at that rate it gets you just under that 8-month mark where it will pay itself off. In total, including the graphic card, everything costs around $1,030, and with the graphic card mining $4.30 a day, and that's actually accounting for electricity charges and whatnot, this rig with only one 3060 Ti will take just under 8 months to pay itself off. So there you have it. Those are all the parts that you need to build a mining rig. I'll be sure to have links to everything down below in the description. I'm going to be real with you. You're probably going to have some trouble finding the graphic card at the price I showed you, but if you're able to get the graphic card at that price, this takes just under 8 months. That graphic card alone, should you decide mining isn't for you and you're able to get it for retail, you can actually sell the graphic card secondhand and get more for that graphic card alone than you pay for everything. Right now on the market, those are going for about $1,200 to $1,400. So just know that if you get your hands on all that and you just want to try it, just know it's kind of low risk just because of the resale value for that single card on its own. And that's going to do it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to smash the like button. It really helps to support the channel. And if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, hey, feel free to leave those down below in the comments. And again, if you're interested in signing up for Gemini and getting $20 in free crypto for depositing $100, hey, be sure to check out the link down below in the description. And last but certainly not least, thank you so much for watching, and peace.